Welcome to the test driven development playlist. In the last video, we wrote our first unit test. Today, I'll show you the most important skill that every tester needs: how to structure your test cleanly with AAA pattern. If your test ever feel messy or confusing, then this video will change everything for you. AAA stands for arrange, act, assert. This is the universal structure behind every clean, readable test in the world. Let's break it down. So first, A stand for arrange. This is your setup. You prepare everything that your test needs, like data classes, objects, dependency, etc. You're basically setting up the stage before proceeding with your tests. Second, A stand for act. This is the thing you are testing. You call the function, trigger the events, perform the action. Last, A stand for assert. Here we verify the result what we are expecting from our function. Let's see a very simple example in Kotlin and try to understand AAA pattern. This AAA pattern is not specifically designed for Kotlin. You can use the same pattern in anywhere. Like if you are working with Python, it works the same because it's a pattern. It is not something which is dependent on any platform, dependent on any language. So let's start with a very simple example. So first, in our main, or you can say in our production level directory, within our testing course, I'm going to create here a class, and the class name is calculator. This calculator has two functionality. So first is addition functionality. We can pass here two parameter A and B. Return type is integer and it simply return A plus B. Similarly, we have subtract. Pass the first parameter, which is a type of integer. Second parameter also integer, return type is also integer, and simply return it A minus B. Now we are going to write test cases for our calculator class. Open your unit test directory and in your testing course, right click, create a class, and the class name is calculator unit text. So first test is used to verify the result of our addition function. When two positive number added should return correct result. Now AAA pattern says first you should arrange all of your required thing which you want to test in your test case. So here if you see, we have a calculator class. If you want to test addition, we need an instance of our calculator. So create it. This is a part of our arranging the components. Okay, so for our test case, this is the only thing we want. Next, it's time to perform the action. So talking about our action, we have calculator add 1 plus 1 comma 1. Store this thing in a variable naming result. So this is our action. Now it's time to perform the assertion. So in assertion, we'll use assert equals. If you notice, 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is my expectation from my function, and we have the result. This is what AAA pattern is. First, you should arrange all of the component that you want to test, then perform the action. Like here, we want to test add. So simply call this add function, grab the result, and at the end, we simply assert. So my expectation from this function is 2. Because 1 plus 1 is 2, it's very common. So if our result is equivalent to the 2, that means our test case passed successfully. Execute it. Alright, so our test case passed successfully. Now, there is a very small assignment for you. You should write one more test case for our second function, which is subtraction. Let's discuss here the naming convention. When we're talking about test cases, naming is the most important thing that you should take care. Just read this function name. When two positive numbers added should return correct result. I mean, it's very clear. Intent is very clear. This test case somehow checks the addition function of our calculator. It's very clear. Similarly, we have a few more types of naming convention that you should use. The second one is given, when, then. So let's write a name. Function given, let me make some space for you. So given two positive integers, when added, should return correct result. This is also a naming convention that you can use. Technically, these two test cases eventually testing the same thing, but naming convention is a bit different. Again, first we arrange, perform the action, and assert. If you execute it, it's the same thing, it will pass. Lastly, we have a way of giving the name that we call descriptive way of writing test name. So it's like writing a plain English. So function, use here single quotes, should return correct result when added to positive numbers. You can use this naming convention too, but at the end, naming convention matter most in your unit test cases because it acts as a documentation for a newcomer developer or for you too. In future, let's say you write this piece of code today and after 6 months when you came back and look into your test cases, you have a clear idea what's going on. This is why unit test cases name should matter in your code. Alright, so that's it for this video. In this video, we learned AAA pattern and also we learned the naming convention that we have when we wrote our unit test cases.